Liminal spaces. Let me tell you a story. This picture right here is a mall. It's an empty mall, perhaps abandoned. This mall looks like it was built sometime in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Yet there's part of you that feels like you've been to this mall. Now this mall is actually Modern Mall in West Virginia, Morgantown to be exact. I've been to this mall. I've been in this mall a lot actually during my childhood. The mall is indeed quite literally abandoned. There used to be a pharmaceutical company that pretty much took over the whole mall, a Chinese food and a Subway. But with the exception of that, the hallways of the mall, the storefronts were all empty. And that brought me to the world of liminality. But part of you watching this probably still felt like you've been to that place. So the question begs to answer, why? Why do you feel like you've been at these liminal places, these liminal spaces? Perhaps these liminal spaces are just a realm of forgotten memories. Before we get into this video, my name is Enigma and Axioms, and this is the community that I stand for. This channel is a reflection of my mind and a world where we dig deeper into all the enigmas and axioms in this universe. If you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, comment something nice. It really does help. So with that said, let's get into this video. Liminal spaces. Liminal spaces is often, it's intertwined with the backrooms. If you search the backrooms, you're going to see the liminal spaces. If you search liminal spaces, you're going to see the backrooms. But what exactly is a liminal space? Well, you see, a liminal space is defined as this. A liminal space, based from ChatGPT's answer. A liminal space is a transitional or in-between space that exists on the threshold between two states or environments. These spaces often evoke feelings of uncertainty, disorientation, and ambiguity. Liminal spaces can be physical, such as corridors, stairwells, waiting rooms, or transitional zones like airport terminals or train stations. They can also be psychological, representing transitional periods in one's life, such as adolescence, rite of passage, or moments of significant change. So realize that in the world of liminality, all these definitions that ChatGPT just gave us were pretty much moments where you're passing through something. The reason why we feel so nostalgic when we see liminal spaces is because you're not supposed to stay in the liminal space. One of the best examples to explain liminal spaces is that one day you accidentally had to stay in school for a little longer, and you saw the empty hallways of your school, and something felt just a little off. It's such a nostalgic yet uncertain feeling because the school hallway itself is a liminal space. It's a between space that exists between two states or environments, meaning the only time you're going to be in the school hallway is either when you're going from classroom to classroom or you're going from school to home or home to school. But to be stuck in the hallway itself is actually not supposed to happen. You're disoriented. That's the reason it evokes the feeling of uncertainty, because you're staying in a space that you're not supposed to belong to. You see, liminal spaces are characterized by their transient nature and the role as transitional zones, right? Therefore, airports. Airports are a great liminal space. When you're walking the airport from your flight to your other flight, it feels natural, right? Because you're transitioning from one flight to another, your flight to home, home to flight. But the problem lies in staying in the airport. What happens if I tell you that you're stuck in this airport for the next 7 days? Now the airport becomes a different spot because it's no longer transitional. Now, the rain outside is actually going really crazy. This place is gonna flood by the end of this video. Liminal spaces often lack clear boundaries and definitions, existing in a state of flux between two distinct states or environments. This ambiguity can create a sense of unease or quiet, as individuals navigate the liminal space between what is known and what is unknown. The last example that I would like to use to explain the liminal space is waiting rooms. There's something quite liminal about waiting rooms that evokes this feeling of nostalgia within us. Picture this with me right now. you're watching this video. Remember when we were kids and we'd go to the clinic, and the clinic would have these the baby toys with a wire with little wooden slabs in the middle, and you could just move it through. The waiting room of the clinic is an essential liminal space because you're not supposed to wait in the the waiting room. You're not supposed to wait in the waiting room forever. The waiting room is solely there so you can transition to the doctor and head out of there. But when you do see the waiting room right now, it feels very nostalgic because you're taking a glimpse at a transitional space that you're not supposed to be in anymore. So when your body sees it, your body knows deep down that it's not supposed to be there. And that's also where the feelings of nostalgia spike so much. So now the question I might ask is the reason why you click this video. Why are you so attracted to liminal spaces? Why do we as humans like liminal spaces so much? You see, despite the unsettling nature, liminal spaces can also be a site of transformation and introspection. It's reflection. They offer opportunities for growth, self-discovery as individuals, and never forget the threshold between past, present, familiarity, and unfamiliarity. Damn, ChatGPT is very poetic today. In this sense, liminal spaces hold a symbolic significance as portals to new possibilities and experiences, inviting individuals to explore the boundaries of their own conscious and identity. Well written. The allure of liminal spaces stems from a combination of psychological, emotional, and cultural factors. Here are several reasons why people are drawn to liminal spaces. Let's go down this list right here. Number 1, sense of mystery and adventure. This one probably pertains mostly to guys. I'm just gonna put this one out there. Similar to me, if you watch this video, you've probably had the thought before. If you could go into the back rooms, you would go into the back rooms, right? As humans, what do? We conquer worlds, right? We colonize. That's what humans do. If you're gonna comment something, don't even comment it. I'm not even gonna reply to you. Liminal spaces evoke a sense of mystery and adventure. It's uncharted territory, inviting exploration and discovery. The unknown nature of these spaces sparks curiosity and excitement, appealing to our innate sense of adventure. That plus danger. There's this sense of uncanniness in liminal spaces in the back rooms. Even though there's nothing in the picture, you can almost feel like there's tension in the air. Either it's memories of nostalgia, or in the world of backrooms where entities are not a thing. The backrooms community it's weird. I like the original concept of the backrooms more, but I don't mind these new worlds. So moving on, escaping routine. Liminal spaces offer an escape from the mundane routines of life. They provide a temporary respite from the familiar, allowing individuals to step outside their comfort zones, experiencing something new and different. This is similar to working an office job. You watching this video, you might work an office job. You see, one of the arguments that I have about office jobs is working an office job kind of goes against our nature as humans, because white-collar jobs are jobs that don't require physical labor, which make high income, right? I mean, shit, in this sense, no one's white-collar in America, no, this way. But in this sense, it violates us as humans naturally, right? Because, I mean, let's be honest, our minds haven't changed since cavemen. We still have really primal creations, right? We're still made primally. And the act of just not doing anything physical and only using your brain to make you money, it doesn't completely make sense, right? You take a scrawny person who makes 6 figures but works an office job. No one's gonna call that person masculine. Why? Just because human nature doesn't currently see eye to eye with that. And the escape from routine that liminal spaces provides is something that's really attracted, right? It's a sense of freedom, right? Leaving society, leaving the norm, kind of makes me just want to walk into the pool room sometimes. You know, you have this thought of just leaving the world for, I don't know, say if you knew you could enter the back rooms and leave the back rooms at a certain amount of time. The thought of just, oh, I'm gonna go here for 7 days and I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be just a human being in the unknown, exploring, right? And also, look, you watching this video, you might not admit it, but some of you guys are thinking, hell yeah, if I had the chance, I would take it. Hey, I'll be the same. I would take it too, right? And that leads me to the last one, sense of nostalgia. Liminal spaces can evoke feelings of nostalgia, and longing. They may remind people of past experiences or evoke memories of transitional periods in their lives. Nostalgia can create a sense of comfort and familiarity, drawing people to liminal spaces as a way to reconnect to the past. Now, this one really does hit home for me. Liminal spaces it's more than just a concept. One of my favorite liminal spaces is level 94, backrooms. Liminal space, more of a backrooms, but level 94 is a lot of foothills, a lot of houses. Reminds me of a house from Peppa Pig. But during my adolescence, I moved to the Midwest in America. And for people who do know and who don't know, that's what the Midwest looks like. Kansas, at least. Everything, everywhere that does get water, right? Everywhere that doesn't get water is pretty much yellow. But for the places that do get it, they're green. When I was traveling to the Midwest, that's exactly what I saw. I saw the Ozark foothills, Green Plains, the Midwest, Chicago, and see just little houses on there. And every time I see level 94, it gives me that sense of nostalgia. It reminds me of it. It brings back this feeling of me that was present inside of me when I was 9, 10 years old. And it gives me this sense of comfort that, that was my past right there. So you watching this video, there's something about liminal spaces that probably evokes a sense of nostalgia to you. I mean, let's be honest, people who watch liminal spaces don't come from Pakistan. Maybe they do. I'm just gonna make this generalization. One of my theories is that liminal spaces connect mostly to first world countries because these liminal spaces pertain in environments where a first world country would be able to sustain it. Meaning, look at every one of these liminal spaces, and I'm telling you that none of them would be able to exist in, say, a place like North Korea, because North Korea simply doesn't have the ability to support a place such as that. But all these liminal spaces that we see are remnants of what the Western world was like 20 years ago, what millennials, Gen Z went through, the early 2000s. These are remnants of what the early 2000s looked like. So here again, I'm gonna tell you to think back to that one picture of the mall. Doesn't it not look like something from that time period in the United States? So to close off this video, yeah, the liminal spaces are worth your memories. They're not really forgotten, they're just there. But let's be honest, the reason why we feel nostalgic is because part of us feels that it's time to move on. You're not supposed to be in these memories anymore, and part of you might want to go back. But because you want to go back just means there's something in your present that's making you feel content right now. And perhaps the mission shouldn't be trying to go back to liminal spaces. It should be trying to be content with our life today. And perhaps one day our lives in the present moment will too become a liminal space. So with that said, my name is Enigma. I was on a roll. It was flowing. All the words were flowing. It's early in the morning. My name is Enigma. My name is Enigma and Axioms. And with that said, greatness is here. If you like this community, I welcome you to join. So with that said, check all the links in my bio. Let me sell you stuff. And with that said, greatness is here.